This is Chicago. Doors open on the left at Chicago.
Welcome to Chicago. Welcome to Chicago. Welcome to Chicago.
This is Chicago. Doors open on the left at Chicago.
Welcome to Chicago.
Welcome to Chicago. Coming from the 606 Media Studios. This is the TCSF podcast with Big Z in-house. We got Stevie B from the No Water on the Weekend podcast, and we got JC Dynasty Fantasy Football in the studio as well, the virtual studio. Episode 221 is brought to you by 606 Media, true Chicago sports fans, and Grit Clothing Company. Don't forget to go to gritclothingco.com and get your official TCSF podcast t-shirts. Search for keyword True Chicago and use our promo code TrueFan15 for 15% off your entire order. That is TrueFan15. Go and get your shirts now. And if you're watching on the Facebook, YouTube, or the X, hit that subscribe button.
Smash.
That's right. And if you're listening on your favorite podcast app, remember to give us 5 stars and a nice, kind review. It'll shoot us up on the charts. Again, we are on everything. We are on YouTube. We're on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, everything. Wherever you can get your podcast, whether it's visual or audio, hit that subscribe button, share it, and help us out. You can also support the show with a monthly subscription at anchor.fm/True Chicago Sports Fans. Go over there and click on the support button and subscribe for as little as 99 cents a month. And you haven't done so, we have other shows on the 606 Media lineup. We got Intoxicated with myself, Big Z, where I interview great people, diving deep into guest live stories. Each episode features engaging discussions, interviews, and fascinating guests. This past week, I dropped the one with Johnny Vitti, the guy who makes all those crazy Chicago-centric videos that are funny as hell. Follow him at Johnny Vitti on all his socials. It dropped last week, so check that out. It's everywhere. It is available that you listen to everything, or watch. We also have No Water on the Weekend with Steven and Sean. He's right there. A pop culture forward podcast that dabbles in funny trivia, film, television, music, and Chicago-centric news and happenings. What was the topic this week, Stevie B?
Yeah, we had some great trivia with Sean about Turkey, not the country, not the actual like Delhi, but Turkey as in an actual bird and their characteristics and their sounds, the name of their gullet, or whatever it is. But yeah, like very festive, very getting ready for the holiday kind of stuff. So that trickles its way in to the show a bit. I can't remember any more than that.
You'll have to listen to get more. That's right.
Exactly. But other than that, more what you're watching, I think has been most of the segments. I've been watching other stuff on there, so be sure to check out what we've been watching.
Awesome. That's great, man. Yeah, it's been a busy couple of weeks just getting everything ready. I have a new podcast table here, so I bought that up last week, and it's one of those electric desks that moves up and down, so it's pretty cool.
Did you get off the TikTok shop?
I did not get off TikTok shop. I got it from Facebook Market. It was still in a box. Got it for a cheap price. It was missing a couple parts, not gonna lie, and I had to figure out how to do that myself because the instructions were just pictures but no words. So it was funny to try to figure that out, and some parts didn't match up, so I had to make my own parts and make it feasible. But it works. It goes up and down. It's a solid table, good space on here. So I'm excited about getting that and getting this studio just situated because I feel like it's a mess in here, but never had time to get into it. What else, Steve? You're still bowling?
Yes, on Thursdays. It's been challenging. Sometimes I think the first game, it takes me a little bit to get the lanes going. But after that, 2-3 has been pretty good. Are you still bowling? We don't talk about that anymore.
Yeah, we haven't talked about bowling. Yeah. I don't want to upset the bowling gods. I've been bowling pretty good in the last 3-4 weeks. And, we've won a couple of weeks in a row. But,
nice.
I don't want to, spook the bowling gods right now because I do have to bowl tomorrow and I'm trying to do well. So it's been going well. I'll show you off air what I've been doing. But I don't want to spook the gods into making me bowl a 90. I did practice today. I took a position helping the the high school bowling team, and everyone's at the starting position. Like everyone's a straight bowler. They're using house balls. It's a challenge, but it's fun to see them, be able to grow. We've only had 2 practices, and
Look at you doing
we'll split.
teaching, podcasting, doing bowling, just molding the minds
Yeah,
of great entertainment and professional athletes over here.
that's right. I just finished a podcast class that I was doing for about 3 months. I think 3 months. Yeah, about 3 months. That just finished up, which is exciting as well. There was my laptop. Yeah, I was doing that for what do we say, September to October, so 2 months. So that's been pretty cool as well. Yeah, but it's been busy, man, really busy. I've been going to a couple events. I went to a concert. I went to a ceremony. I've been doing a bunch of stuff, man. It's just nonstop. So, JC, how are you, man? Now that you're back on air.
Yeah, I was having a little technical difficulty with my pod mic arm here. That I don't know if you guys saw it, but it was just slowly lowering as.
I thought it was your camera for a second.
Yeah.
No, my camera's good. It's the pod mic arm. Like I said, I need to get an Allen key and tighten it up a little bit. So,
awesome.
But yeah, I was like, oh god, you just constantly see my mic just lowering, and I'm like, I should probably just turn my camera off while I'm trying to fix this. So.
Oh man. Well, without further delay, let's get into episode 221, Eber-Lose, and it's perfectly named. So in this live episode, we're going to talk about the 20-19 loss to the Green Bay Packers in 3-and-out. We'll talk a little Bulls basketball as they're playing right now. I think they're playing Detroit. They started early, around 6:00 local time. We'll talk a little Blackhawks, and then we'll maybe, I think we should do a little bit of what you're watching. We haven't done that in a little bit, so or unless we got a topic. Do we have a stirring the pot topic?
I had one that I suggested to you before we got on.
Well, we could do both, depending on
a short episode. We might be able to do both.
Yeah, we should be able to do both. But let's start off with 3-and-out, and how upset everyone is at the lack of offense. Here we go. Yeah, boom was that bubble that bursted at the end of the game. Let's start off with our offense. So let's give a huge shout out to interim offensive coordinator Thomas Brown. I think he did a phenomenal job calling plays. He got the ball out quickly out of Caleb's hand. He got the ball to the playmakers. DJ Moore was getting the ball on some bubble screens, and just really quick offense. He kept the defense off balance for the most part, and was able to compensate for that mixed match. What is that? The grab bag at the bar kind of thing of an old line. The offensive line is just literally a bunch of what is that? What was that? That Stickum, the guy that just slaps the tape
on their hand, and then they're able to catch it.
That's Flex Seal. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, that's Flex Seal. Yeah, he just slaps the Flex Seal on there. That's exactly what the offensive line is holding on to: Flex Seal and duct tape. Caleb was a lot better. He had some early throws that were good, some easy throws. He settled quicker into the game plan and in the game. So it definitely showed. We had a field goal to start off, which was okay. I would wanted a touchdown to get off on a hot start, but you can tell that the different type of play calling and the offense was moving a little bit faster. Personnel was mixed up again. Cole Kmet got some catches. So it was a lot of good signs from the new offensive coordinator. What did you guys see?
I saw a lot. Everyone got the ball. Everyone got the ball at least once or twice. I think everyone pretty much touched it. Cole Kmet got some catches. Keenan Allen, Odunze, really clutch at the end of the game to set that up for the amazing field goal we had at the end. I think also there was a stat on Fired Up or Ready Up on ESPN. The fastest Caleb's able to get the ball out, he's able to complete passes. When it's anything longer, he does terrible statistically. So if you're able to get the ball out of his hands a lot quicker, he's going to make a completion and he's going to be able to do his job correctly.
That's just NFL offense. And it's funny because we had Tom Brady calling the game, and that's one of the guys who got the ball out of his hands as quick as possible and let his playmakers make the plays. And you saw that a little bit in the first and second quarter. Um, I kind of fell asleep during the halftime and midway to the third quarter, just because I was exhausted. But you did see a little bit more of a hurry up offense, get him into the flow. He did throw for 231, 23 out of 31. I think that's a good stable place to be. 30 throws, 200 yards. That's great. No mistakes as far as interceptions, but also no touchdowns. We definitely need Caleb to be able to throw the ball to his playmakers and get some touchdowns. We looked at a Rome Odunze was a 6 catches, 65 yards. DJ Moore 7 for 62. Komet 3 for 42. I think he still needs some more catches. He should be getting 5 to 7 catches a game. Allen 4 for 41. Swift for 2 for 13, and Roshaw Johnson 1 for 8. So, JC, what did you think of the offense of the game?
I mean, it was efficient. That's something that we've been lacking here for the past couple of weeks. Just the fact that we can actually move the ball, that we're getting, we're converting on third downs, and we're continuing to move a lot of our possessions started off pretty deep in our area. The interception, I think, was at like the 15 or 20 yard line. To drive all the way down the field, and score. I mean, I give them credit. The offensive looked much better under this interim, staff. I will say, I think a lot of that had to do with, we saw a great play in which Braxton Jones, who is finally back at left tackle, was able to spring Swift for the touchdown. With that lead block. Darnell Wright is back. We're missing some of our interior guys now, but to have those 2 tackles back, I think it really helped improve that O line. And you're seeing now that with a little protection, Caleb can distribute the ball, and even if it is at a quicker pace than what needs to be, so be it. But like I said, we have to get that protection in front of him. And I think the kid has the ability to do what the offense needs to do. I mean, he outplayed Jordan Love in this game. I mean, it was pretty clear and obvious. Yes, Jordan Love is supposedly injured and hurt, but still doesn't take away from the fact that, Caleb outlooked much better, outshined a guy who's getting paid very big money.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you that, just with the eye test, he did look a lot better. What I was surprised about was the DeAndre Swift, 14 for 71, 5.1 average with a touchdown. That's what you want. You want to be able to eat the clock and have possession, make sure that the other quarterback doesn't have the ball in his hand. And then Caleb was able to bust out for a couple plays and run down the field, 9 for 70. Yeah. He was almost the lead rusher. And there was times where the middle was open and you just had to go, or you busted to the outside. I thought that was great. It's great decision making. If it's there for you, take it, of course. And then he was able to slide and protect himself. He did get pushed out of bounds and he did slip, and he made it look like he got, it was more than what it was, and he got a flag, which is great, because we saw last year our quarterback didn't get not one flag last year, and he was getting rocked left and right. So I will take those, even though it wasn't a real roughing the passer.
Yeah, 100%. Any penalty is free yardage. So why would we disagree? I think a lot of the problems stemming with Justin Fields was he didn't show that he was much of a slider to begin with. So when you show the refs like, hey, I'm going to fight for extra yardage, they're going to let the play go. Like Caleb has come out and basically shown like, no, I'm going to go down. I'm going to slide. Like, I am not going to fight for the extra yardage, like a Jalen Hurts or a Justin Fields. That
Josh Allen yesterday.
Yeah, Josh Allen. So it's pretty much one of those where like expect me to slide, and like I said, he's not trying to pull some trick where like, oh, I'm going to fake like I'm going out of bounds, like Pat Mahomes did earlier in the season. because that's going to have to be a rule change as well. Some of that stuff that Pat Mahomes is doing, where he's running down the sidelines, takes a hit because he doesn't want to go out of bounds,
Right.
and then when these defenders pull up, then he runs for an extra 5-6 yards. So something like that, where if you're within like 2 yards of the out of bounds, like you're basically giving yourself up. I don't know how you change that in the rule book for the NFL, but I think that's something that has to change, because how are you going to penalize a defender for hitting someone out of bounds, and then like that person, when you pull up, runs for an extra 6 or 7 yards because they know you're going to pull up because you don't want to take the penalty. So, like I said, something has to be done about that. I don't know how, but
Yeah, that's gonna be hard to police, just because Mahomes does take advantage of that. I would say there's a lot of quarterbacks that take advantage. The good ones take advantage of that. So, and then, we'll use the rule to your advantage. I mean, why not? Why not?
but to
It,
me, if you have 1 foot inbounds, 1 foot out of bounds, and you take a hit, sorry, you had 1 foot inbounds.
you were still in.
Yeah, like to me, it's just one of those where, like I said, something has to go the defender's way, because, like I said, I mean, you watch the Pat Mahomes situation, and it's like clear as day. Like that defender pulled up and didn't want to lay the wood on him because he was close to the sideline and didn't want to get a penalty. But it's like, either that or, dude, these defenders are going to light him up from here on out, penalty or not. And then you're risking the injury to the quarterback. So, like I said, to me, it's one of those like where you meet the sideline, where those yardage hashes are.
Mhm.
Like if you are running as a quarterback and you are running on those hash yardage line, to me that should be like you forfeited running any further. Like once you're running on those hashes, because that's like within a yard of the sideline.
Yeah, but what if he gets tackled at that point? He's still in bounds. The clock's still running. You have those scenarios as well. So it's a lot to digest.
Yeah,
those
like I
changes.
said, I don't know what the right situation is, but like I said, you can't penalize somebody 15 yards when, like I said, hey, as far as I'm considered, he was still in bounds, and I rocked him. So what? So
Yeah.
there has to be some sort of play calling, or, some sort of rule, because it wasn't Josh Allen when he was coming out of college. He made it look like he was going to slide in college,
Yeah.
and then ran for another 50 yards, and they changed the even if you start the motion of a slide, like you're done. You're giving yourself up.
Yeah.
So there's got to be something similar on the sideline.
Defensive side, what did we think? I mean, we didn't have much pressure. I don't think our defensive pressure on the front line made much of a difference. They were able to run the ball on us. I'm looking at their stats right now. They ran
That Watson catch. You gotta do better than that.
Oh God, yeah. I
You
mean, he had 100. I mean, yeah, Christian Watson had 150 yards against us. That's unacceptable. Then you have Josh Jacobs, 18 for 76, and you had Jordan Love, 4 for 18. Yeah, but still, 4.2 yards per carry is way too much to give on the running side. And right now, everyone's running on the Bears because they know that the line is not producing a lot of pressure on the quarterbacks, or able to get a lot of stops for losses. I thought the
I believe
secondary
we're missing Billings.
Yeah.
So I mean, losing him is a huge disadvantage for us right now, because he is a big clogger. And so, like I said, losing him, it's really hurt us on that pass rush, or not pass rush, but rush defense.
Right.
Montez Sweat, he's hurt, and we really don't have a number 2 rusher right now that's producing at all either. So, we're kind of at a standstill where we're really not getting that pass rush. We're still getting takeaways here and there, but like I said, if we had more of a pass rush, I think we would have more takeaways.
I mean, speaking of that takeaway, I just really think that was just a dumb throw by Jordan Love.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
thank goodness
he let it sail just a little bit.
Yeah. Thank goodness for our defensive paying attention. They'd be able to catch a simple ball that was thrown. It wasn't a hot route or anything like that. It was just he lobbed it over the dude's head. And when like I think Tom Brady was talking about that. He threw off his back foot instead of being planted. So it sailed on him. And we were able to intercept it, but not really cash in. Special teams did pretty well. I thought, besides the penalty where we got the re-kick or whatever, but I think Torrey Taylor did a pretty good job. I think our return game was pretty decent. Where we lacked of is Cairo Santos not being able to kick in a higher trajectory, which ended up getting blocked because everyone with Green Bay did their study and said, yeah, he's a low kicker guy. He kicks line drives. So we're going to be able to jump up and block that kick. What did you guys see on that play?
I saw exactly what everybody else saw. I've said since we picked a punter that why do we pick a punter when we need a kicker? Cairo Santos, yeah, he's one of the most accurate kickers in the league, but the dude can't kick over 50 yards if there's a breeze. He barely makes 53-yard kicks when you guys got guys like Tucker and some of these other guys that are kicking 60 and 63 yards. I'm sorry. I think, are we paying Santos $4 million a year or something like that? He's not worth it. Like to me, like I'd rather have a less accurate kicker, but one that can kick 60 yards rather than 53.
I mean, kicking at Soldier Field is a tough task because of the swirling wind. So I don't know how much of a 63-yard kicker you're going to be able to get to cash in those kicks with that type of wind.
On a windy day, yeah, it'll be tough. But it's one of those where still I'd much rather, because even still, like Minnesota's indoors, Detroit is indoors. A lot of the people we face are indoors. So yes, yeah, it's kind of crummy because you have 8 games at Soldier Field or 7 games at Soldier Field, which sucks. Yes, but the fact of the matter is still a bunch of our in-division games are in a dome, and we crossed the 50-yard line, and it's like, okay, we still have to gain another 20 yards because this guy cannot kick anything over 53 yards. So to me, it's just the extended range of a kicker. I mean, the average kicker now, you better be able to make a 55, 56 yards. And the good kickers, the greats, the Justin Tuckers and them, they're making 61, 62, 63 yards.
Well, Israel came in and said that Justin Tucker missed 2 kicks yesterday.
Well, he has an injury. I think he's playing through a hamstring or something, because they were talking about it on the broadcast yesterday that he's dealing with something and he's trying to work through it, but it's still affecting him.
Yeah.
But like I said, nonetheless, at this point, I don't even care. They came out today and said that they are submitting video footage that the defensive lineman interrupted or
pushed off,
interfered with our long snapper.
Yeah.
So the rule is anytime that if a player touches the long snapper or interferes with the long snapper, it's an automatic 15 yards and a first down.
Yeah.
So the Bears are submitting footage. What that's going to do, I don't know. Not going to overturn a loss, but, as far as I know, like the NFL may come out. Yeah, it should have been a penalty, but guess what? It's still a loss. So what is that? A moral victory? Like,
yeah, we have a lot of those. They're over there in the closet. We don't need it.
To me, it's still a simple fact of we lost. Plain simple. Like it is what it is.
Now let me ask you, where were you guys at when you? JC, where were you at? You're at work, right?
No, I was actually off yesterday, so I was chilling at the house watching the game, and I'm gonna be honest with you. I think I may have jinxed it because as soon as it was like, oh, it's down to a field goal, what crossed my mind, guys? Do you know?
Double doink.
Double doink.
And I had the same feeling too. Yeah. And when I was like, yeah,
I don't know why, but the first thing in my head was this is going to be a fucking doink.
Yeah, I had the exact same thing when it came down to it. I was like, first thing that popped in my head was the same thing. I was like, this guy, something's going to happen. I just feel it in my gut, just like right there. And then I'm like, yeah.
It's because
And the worst part was,
we can't have nice things.
no, worst part was, this is what happened. So I had a feeling. I look at my phone, bench report. I already said that the Packers beat the Bears. I look at it. I'm like, son of a bitch. He missed it. He had to have. And then I look, and he missed it. And I was like, wow. I was like in my head, I'm like, no, it had to be a typo. Did I read it right? Am I dyslexic? Like, but yeah, so, man, it's just, it's frustrating. Season's over. I think a lot of people are concluding that after last night or yesterday. And I don't know. I think you look for next year, you try to compete in these games moving forward, and you put the past behind you, Lion King reference.
Yeah. Well, speaking of putting the past behind you, this is kind of a repeat of the Washington game where Eber-Lose is coaching not to lose rather than coaching to win. He came on a radio or his press conference and was saying that he stands by the decision of running down the clock. We had like a minute left. We could have ran some more plays. Tom Brady was saying, all right, hurry up, run another play. This is what you should do. Everyone else in Chicago was like, run another play. Keep running it down their throat. You never know. You can always break one out. You can get 3, 4, maybe 5 yards in those couple of plays. You had a timeout that you could have stopped the clock whenever you wanted. Just continue to move the ball. Don't let them sub out. You get them tired. You never know what can happen. But no, Eber-Lose is confused of what the play is going to be. Oh, you know what? Let's just call a timeout. Let them regroup. It made no sense to run down the clock and make them kick, what was it, a 47-yarder? You could have got at least 5 to 10 yards. Come on. This is what caused them to miss the field goal. You never know. Even Green Bay said, oh, we thought they were going to keep running plays. Yeah.
Yeah, but like I think it was Dave Wannstedt, former Bears coach, said, before every game I go to my kicker and say, hey, going this way, what are you good with? Going that way, what are you good with? And he basically said, like, he kind of believes like, well, there was no big deal in running an extra play there, because when I go to my kicker and ask him, are we good from here? Get it over, get it done, like kick it from there. So, it's one of those, because again, yeah, great. Oh, let's run an extra play. That was so stupid. Well, that could have been a fumble. That could have been a bad handoff.
That's what Eber-Lose said.
I get that concept, but it's playing safe. Scared. Yeah, and you're playing scared. Yeah.
Any play can be a fumble or a bad handoff or an
now. What would you rather have it if we had to make a decision? Be a fumble or lose with a field goal?
I rather lose by him throwing an interception.
I was gonna say either way. I think it hurts. No matter which way.
I mean,
I know it hurts, but what would you rather have the odds? An interception, a fumble, or the field goal?
To me, the missed field goal, like I said, all that tells me is we need a younger kicker with an extended range. Bring somebody in that should have at least competed against Santos in the offseason. Like I said, okay, maybe we didn't draft a guy, but you're telling me you can't
pick. Huh? You know what? What Poles is gonna do next year with his 4th round pick is pick a kicker.
Well, again, to me, it's insane in today's day and age that these teams, like I said, the fact that the Bears have a kicker that in a slight breeze he can go from kicking 53 yards to anything over 48. No, we're not kicking. Like on a windy day, because we've done that. We've had days where Cairo Santos 48-yard field goal. They will not kick it because they know he can't make it.
No, so we're not bringing Robbie Gould. He is retired. He is done. He is coaching. Leave him alone.
I think you could have got one more play in, and I would have taken that. I think we're all thinking that when we're watching it, and
Everybody knows
playing
to be
scared.
money. Yeah, throw a jumbo package in there. Let's go. Put Komet in there, Mercedes Lewis, get him off the bench, and hopefully he doesn't get a false start because that's what he's known for. Anytime he gets up on there, he doesn't know what the play is and he gets a false start. But again, yes, I think you should have ran one or even two plays, run the ball, see what you can get. If you get stuffed, you get stuffed. It is what it is, and you're still cooking from that point. But you give your team a chance to put the damn game away if they break one out. Like last night's game, it looked like it was over, and it came down to the last play. You got to give your team a chance. You can't just be throwing the white flag like, all right, we hope this kick goes through. If you know your guy can't kick more than 45 yards, especially if there's wind, like JC said, you got to give your guys a chance. The offense was rolling. It was humming. That throw to Doomsday, yeah, that was beautiful where he threw it before he even turned around. He threw it, bam, right in the bread basket. Let's go. And that's the type of Caleb that we want. We don't want him neutered. We want him using every aspect of his talent. Stop let him be what he is. And you saw a little bit of that with the change of the offensive coordinator. I think they simplified a lot of plays instead of the offense of Shane Waldron when there's 6 different options on every single route. And, he's trying to call this and that. Where you heard you can hear the offensive line saying, no, Caleb, we're good. Leave it alone. Don't change it. It's you see the difference now, especially with the offense. Now, we didn't see as many points. I know there was a play called back. That could have been a touchdown. But again, I'm done with Keenan Allen. Yeah, I don't even want him on Team Israel. I don't care what they say about him being a possession wide receiver. They should have traded when they had the chance, and they don't now. So
I think, yesterday he had one of the catches that actually helped the game out towards the end.
Yeah,
I wouldn't say I'm completely out.
He did his job.
Right. So
Okay.
I think he's not a complete waste. He helps the offense, but still.
Yeah, I will take Roma Dunze, throw him those passes instead.
Oh, sure. Yeah. But if the play's open and stuff like that, I just don't think he's a waste. I think it helps the team.
Or Dunze and Komet. Those are your 3 targets. Leave it as that. There's no reason to restructure your offense and make it all fancy and try to be what's his name?
I mean, I just think it's very difficult when you have nothing to work with. There's excuses, and then when you have too much and nothing gets done, and there's excuses. So I rather have more than not have any than have nothing and not have.
Doesn't have the weapons that we do, and look what they're doing. They have a better offensive line. They have a better.
Darnell Mooney couldn't catch anything, and he's catching.
Mooney's in Atlanta.
I know. I'm just saying when he was here, he couldn't catch anything.
He wasn't being thrown to last year. He wasn't being thrown to at all. That was dropping it. Not throwing to him, not at all. He was wide open, 50 yards down. They're like, we're not even going to guard you, bro. They're not even going to throw it to you. They did not. Yeah, he did not get the pass.
Justin Fields had some bone to pick with Darnell Mooney. I don't know what it was.
From one year to another, he just stopped throwing to him.
Yeah. It's almost like somebody slept with somebody's mama. Some happened in that locker room that caused a disconnect.
They could have been. They went out. Something popped up. We don't know. And what?
Yeah. We'll find out years later.
We'll put Stevie B on it. He'll find out for us.
Oh, I'll find it. Smell that dirt.
Yeah, like I said, to me, I like Keenan Allen. Like I said, I think he's still a good choice to have. I mean, you just watch some of his cuts and some of his breaks, and he'll get 4 or 5 yards of separation just like on his cuts. So I think he's a great option for a young quarterback, but could we have gotten some of our compensation back had we put him on the trade block?
Yeah,
I think we could have. But at the same time, like you look at all right, what did Amari Cooper go for? Like, didn't he go for
7th or 4th?
Yeah. It wasn't much. And then DeAndre Hopkins, what did Hopkins go for? So it's one of those. I don't think we would have got back the second that we traded for.
Oh, no. But you could have got a 4th or 5th. It's something. The guy's going to walk anyways. We're not going to re-sign him, so it made no difference to do that. You could have packaged him, Nate Davis, and Velus Jones and got a 4th.
Yeah, but I don't think any team wanted Nate Davis.
No, not no one
They
wants
were
to
like,
know.
yeah, we see the problems you guys have. We'd rather not have that problem in our locker room.
Yeah,
No thanks.
yeah, definitely. All right.
But like I said, unfortunately, overall, I thought the game was great. I was happy with the game up until the last kick,
Yeah.
and so like I said, I mean, from that standpoint, I think we're gonna have our butts handed to us by the Lions.
Oh,
Um,
absolutely. Do you see
we
what they
got,
did to Jaguars?
yeah, we got the Vikings next week at home, and then we're playing Thanksgiving against the Lions. And let me tell you right now, if you're excited about Bears Lions on Thanksgiving, you must be cheering for the Lions or a high scoring game, or someone on your fantasy team is on the Lions, because it's gonna get ugly.
It's not going to be like last year where we did really well against them. That's not going to happen. That team is too talented, well coached, and it's just not going to
like I
happen.
said, at this point, it's all moral victories from here on out. It's can Caleb start showing progression of getting better week to week again? Because he started regressing under Waldron for the past,
Yes.
4 weeks.
Yep.
So, like I said, can we see the progression of him getting better week to week to week? That's all we have now. That's all we can look forward to, because everything else is null and void. We are not going to the playoffs. We are not. We are the bottom team in our division, and it is what it is. The whole we're going to take the North and never give it back. That's not happening.
That
Not
will always live down until we do something, because we're giving it away every single year the last 3 years.
We should be on a 7-game winning streak right now.
Yeah.
We should be on a 7-game winning streak because we beat the Rams, the Panthers. That's 2. We beat the Jaguars. That's 3. We should have beat the Commanders. That's 4. We should have beat the Cardinals. That's 5. The Patriots 6. Packers 7. We should be on a 7-game.
How would our moods be if we're a 7-win team so far? We'd be happy. No care in the world.
We'd be thrilled and ecstatic. We'd, like I said, especially ending that 7-game win streak with a win against the Packers. Yes. Absolutely. We'd be on cloud 9 thinking we're going to the playoffs. But the bottom line is that, we have issues. We have great depth at wide receiver. We have great depth at running back right now, although we traded Herbert, and we have great depth at linebacker, at corner, at safety. Like you go down the list and you look at our roster, and it's a good roster. Yeah, we're missing an edge rusher. We're missing a little bit of trenches, with Billings being out, and we're missing the offensive line. But if you go look at our roster, it's a roster that somebody head coach worthy is going to want to come and coach the Bears, because it's a good roster.
It is a good roster. And the question I want to pose to you and everybody listening and watching is, should have they fired Eber-Lose along with Waldron last week?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think so. I'm a little hesitant, but then I think so as well. But they're never going to do it. They would have to pay another.
Should have they cleaned house?
Yeah, I think so.
And then the second part of that question is, who steps up then? The defensive coordinator?
At that point, it just doesn't even matter. It's the fact of the matter is that the Bears, the ownership needs to show the emotion of, we are done going through this year after year after year, decade after decade. We haven't won since the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
It's time for the ownership to be, enough is enough. This is unacceptable.
What, doesn't that fall on Ryan Poles?
Yes.
Yeah, it does.
And all the word is that Poles is not going to move on from Eber-Lose. That's all the word that's coming out is that he is still hitched his wagon to Eber-Lose.
And we've all seen what happens when he hitches his wagon. He's stubborn about something, right? Nate Davis, Felix Jones. Who was the wide receiver?
Claypool.
Yeah, Claypool. Again, these are where he hitches his wagons, right? To this train, and it's going to lead for him to get fired as well. I really think so. Even though he started this rebuild, he wasn't hired by.
I'll say this for Poles, it's like every 2 good things he does, he has 1 bonehead mistake. So like he brings in Montez Sweat, he brings in Edmonds and TJ Edwards at linebacker on decent deals. He trades away Roquan, but then he goes and trades for Claypool. And it's like, all right, that was boneheaded. Like he goes and trades for Swift. Great. It really has worked out for us so far.
Mm-hmm.
But then you have Shane Waldron and Eber-Lose. It's like I said, like he'll make 3 great decisions and then make 4 bad ones.
Yeah. It's 2 steps forward, 1 step backwards. You have they should have cleaned house at the end of last year with Justin Fields, had a whole new staff to come in with Caleb. Everyone's on the same track, on the same deals, and everyone grows together. And we understand, hey, you know what? His first year, there's going to be some growing pains, but look to second year after his progress. But we were sold a bad bill of goods here. Oh, we're gonna go on Hard Knocks, and we're gonna be a playoff team because we have all these good players. You didn't address your offensive line. You didn't address the defensive line. You addressed a kicker when you shouldn't have to. No one was gonna draft him in the 4th round.
We don't know this.
I was gonna say there was rumor during the draft process that people were shocked that the Bears took him, but they said he wouldn't have lasted much longer. There
Okay.
were other teams that were
You
looking
could
at.
win, okay, in the 5th round. Okay, you could have traded after you made your 4th round pick if you wanted him so bad. You could have traded back in.
Yeah, I mean, like I said,
We
it is
we
what it
have the nauseum about what they should have done, right? So
Yeah.
I
The
know that.
bottom line is this year, if we don't go trenches, and again, I understand, like, hey, the top left tackle may not be there when we draft. He may get taken two spots ahead of us. Okay, then trade back, get more picks, and take a tackle that is valued at that pick.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like, there's ways to do and accumulate more draft picks, more everything for your team, but you're not reaching for a player.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, and unfortunately, Poles has been very good at that. Even though, like, they were talking about, he really wanted to move up because he didn't think Odunze would be there, but then Odunze did fall to him
Right.
after everything. That he was getting antsy and he really wanted to move up and everything. You know, again, if he does not, I mean, I can't imagine Poles gets fired. Eber-Lose, I really do think gets fired. Poles, I think, has the opportunity to pick another head coach potentially,
Mhm.
because I mean he has helped this roster quite a bit. They're not really in cap casualty or dramatic cap issues. Like our cap is in pretty good shape.
Yeah, we
We
got
have
80 something million coming up next year. 81 million. That's a lot.
Yeah, and like I said, I mean, I think Byard is still, was he on a 2-year, 3-year deal? Or he might be on a 1-year. I'd have to look everything up, but I know like Braxton Jones is coming up on contract. Tevin Jenkins is coming up. Yeah, so like I said, there's a lot of potential of how are we solving these issues?
Yeah.
And we'll have to see. But the bottom line is, we potentially have a 1st round pick of our own in the top 10 potentially. Carolina looks like it's going to be a potential top 10 pick. So we're going to have 3 picks within the top 50, potential
Mhm.
picks.
Right.
And they need to be spent very wisely in the trenches.
Do you draft for? I mean, obviously, unless there's like a generational talent at, I don't even know at this point, yeah, because we have enough wide receivers. If there's
Well,
unless,
you have to figure we're going to lose Keenan Allen, and then
which is fine.
who's your third and fourth wide receiver? You got
Which you can buy one. You can buy one of those, but there's a lot in the market next year. But I'm saying, all right, if let's say it's not the first, not the second, but the top third guard or left tackle was available, do you do that and still supplement by going with the free agent and getting a veteran like Zach Martin or Cam Robinson or who's up? Who else is coming up? Garrett Bowles. I think there's one more. Joseph Nortboom, whatever his name is. I mean, do you do that or do you go for Ryan Kelly, who's a center out of Indiana? I mean, there's some veterans out there. They have some age on them. They'll be making a lot of money.
I was gonna say age would definitely, I would have to take a look at that. If there was somebody in the 27, 28 age range, potentially. If you're hitting 30, 31, I wouldn't.
Yeah. Zach Martin's 34, about to be 34. Robinson's 29 right now. Bowles is 32. Let's see the tackle. Nortboom is 29. The center Ryan Kelly's 31. I think that is about it. Maybe James Daniels. No, we had him already.
Yeah. So like all those guys you just named, which Daniels I think was on Pittsburgh.
Yep, he's on Pittsburgh.
He looked like an all pro for them.
Yep.
So like I said, it's just Bears. Mike Tomlin had a funny interview not that long ago where he said, I don't understand why coaches don't coach anymore. He called out, and it was basically like, oh snap, they're talking about the Bears. Like, because you look at Justin Fields. Justin Fields looked great for him the first 4 or 5 games. Now Russell Wilson's back. Russell Wilson's looking okay, playing for Pittsburgh. But like I said, there's these coaches and teams that seem to be able to produce and get the most out of guys that don't have the talent of a first round pick. That's like you look at the Patriots. Constantly did they pick second, third, fourth round offensive linemen.
Yep.
And granted, Brady's part of that, getting the ball out quickly, but they constantly had guys that looked fantastic on the offensive line that were later picks. Meanwhile, you have the Bears drafting guys in the first round, and we can't develop them for anything.
I will say this. I want to know why Cliff Kingsbury was not chosen, and they had an interview with him, but what didn't they like about him that not to make him the offensive coordinator? I don't understand that, and what made Waldron so attractive to them?
Yeah, I don't understand it myself either. The bottom line is not only that, the Bears were the first team to hire an offensive coordinator in the offseason.
Mm-hmm.
So not only did they interview these guys, but they were the first team to go, no, we don't like any of you. We're going to go with this guy. And then the rest of these guys were sitting out there going to all these other teams. So it's not even like, oh, the Bears ended up with Waldron because he was the last guy left. No, this was your pick. This was your guy. This is the guy you wanted. And then again, if you go look at Fluce's record right now, it is not good. 3 offensive coordinators in, 8 months or something to that effect, or 3 different offensive leaders in, whatever. You're 0-18. 5 times you've given up games that you should have had a 95% chance of winning. You just go look at his statistical record, and it's like, polls. Are we looking at the same thing?
No.
Like I understand Poles is in the building. Fluce is a good guy. They get along well.
We don't want good guys.
No, you don't need a good guy.
No, you don't.
You don't. Your coach doesn't have to be your friend.
but you understand what I'm saying.
Oh yeah.
When you're in the building day to day, like it's easy for me to be like, what are you seeing that I'm not seeing? Because this guy should have been fired 2 weeks ago. But when you're in the building and you're trying to give the benefit of the doubt, and basically this is on you. You're the guy that chose him. Like, what are you seeing that you believe in this guy so much that everyone else can see this guy's got to go?
Yeah. Everybody. All right, let's do our predictions for Bears Vikings this Sunday at noon. They are at home. The Vikings are what's their record?
Like 7-4 or something.
Vikings are 8-2 on a 3-game winning streak. I don't see this going well for the Bears. I'm gonna go 42-17 Vikings.
I'll go 34-17 Vikings.
I was gonna say I was about to go 34-21.
Yeah.
Like I said, from what I saw of the offense, if the offense can do what they did last week, I should expect somewhere between the 17 to 21 points. Because, like I said, I don't think our offense is looking great, but it's one of those where move the ball down the field and you should be able to at least put up 17 points. I would hope.
If you build it, they will come.
Anytime we score less than 20 points, we lose. So it's not looking good. So if they can only put up 20 points, expect to be blown out. I know that their quarterback. Are they still playing with the backup quarterback?
Honestly, I did not pay attention.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
I was gonna say they still put up. Was it 30 points against whoever they played this weekend?
Let's see games. They put up 23 against the Titans, and I'm pretty sure that was against their backup quarterback. Let's see. Oh no, Sam Darnold was there. He threw 246, 2 touchdowns. And that's good enough. That's good enough. That's more than we score. If we're scoring 19 points, 23 is still more than 19. So.
Yep.
Yeah. So I don't expect.
Braxton Jones is still with the Bears next year.
There you go.
I don't know why I thought he was up for.
Why did you think that? Explain to me.
I think Tevin Jenkins is for sure, but I don't know why. I thought Braxton Jones was coming up on his contract. Yeah. Well, the rest of our roster is not looking good. So
yeah, well, neither is the rest of the schedule. So the toughest schedule in the NFL. So it's not gonna look pretty.
We're looking for next year.
Yeah,
to next year.
Pretty soon, the guys that were watching football are gonna be furniture shopping with their wives. Let's take a quick break and then we'll come back with some Bulls basketball. So we'll be right back after a word from our sponsors. Where's that video? Come on, where's the be prepared, Big Z? This guy's not prepared at all. Here we go.
Hey, true Chicago sports fans, show off your Chicago pride with some fresh clothes from Grit Clothing Company. At Grit Clothing, they create that simple yet classic style that represents that Chicago Southside lifestyle. From t-shirts to hoodies, hats to glassware, they've got you covered. Grit has everything you need to represent your Chicago pride, so do it right now. Check out gritclothingco.com and use the promo code TrueFan15.
TrueFan15
for 15% off your entire order. Let me say it again. That's gritclothingco.com and use the promo code TrueFan15 for 15% off of your entire order.
What up? It's Martin Moreno, and you are listening to True Chicago Sports Fans Podcast.
Welcome back to the TCSF podcast with Big Z. In the house, we got Stevie B, who's probably taking a potty break. JC Dynasty Fantasy Football's in the house. And you know what? Let me take him down for a second. It's time to talk about our Chicago basketball team, the Madhouse on Madison. Oh, look at that. He's back. The Madhouse on Madison. Looks like the Bulls pulled off the victory after getting blown out against the Rockets. Looks like the Chicago Bulls responded. I know I placed a nice little bet on there, and I was very conservative, but I want a little bit of change. But it looks like Zach and Kobe both went off, and Vooch with a 122-112 win against the Detroit Pistons. If you look at the game stats, where's my stats here? Boom, boom, boom. All right, the Bulls, Vucevic, 29 points, 12 rebounds. Zach, 25 points, 6 rebounds. Kobe White, 25 points, 4 rebounds. Josh Giddey with a double-double, 10 assists, 11 points. He was 2 rebounds shy of a triple-double. Dusumu timed in with 9 points. Jalen Smith with 8, and Julian Phillips with 5 points. Definitely a bounce back game for the Chicago Bulls. You had Kobe White with 5 threes, Zach LaVine with 7 threes, so he was hot from the 3-point line. I know Vooch had a couple of them on there. Definitely a bounce back game for the Bulls. And this is what you're going to see from the Chicago Bulls, just going back and forth in the win and loss column with this team. They're going to show up interested and uninterested for the rest of the season. I don't see this team going anywhere right now. They're the 11th seed or tied for the 10th seed, but statistically would be the 11th seed, which is surprising. It's surprising that they're that far down because they do have talent, and another team right under them that plays a little bit north of us is the Milwaukee Bucks with a bunch of talent as well that are 4-9. And then you got the Sixers, 76ers with Joel Embiid playing at 2-10. So there's a lot of surprise teams that are really doing really bad right now. But the Bulls with a lot of talent, Alonzo Ball's hurt. Yeah, we know he's going to be gone another 6 weeks and then to be reevaluated. But again, this is a team that should be competing in the middle of the road with the Pacers and the Pistons and the Knicks and around that 4, 5, 6 seed with the talent that they had, if they use Vooch correctly, if Kobe can be consistent and Zach be interested. So we've talked ad nauseum about this team and how it's sometimes it's hard to watch. We didn't get to watch because we were on air, but I have been watching the last 2 Bulls games because
you have an antenna.
I have an antenna. Yeah. So boys, tell me what you think about this Bulls team.
I said it last week. You're going to have this team that it comes down to coaching and how you want to run these players. Something here in the city of Chicago that we're used to. Coaching's a problem here.
Yep.
But I just think that they're going to be that average 500 above or below, not by much team. Again, like we've been saying it the last 3 years, they have good media stuff. They have good reasons why to go to the game. You know, they have some talent, they have some stars, but other than that, it's like if you're not winning, you're still becoming the lovable losers, and we're still going to go. I know all 3 of us said we're not going to go, right? But I mean, family day, I just don't think coaching's there. I think they don't know how to play with each other. It's taken this long to figure out how to play with these guys and how to actually take their strengths and put it to the test of like on the court. I don't know how they do practices or what they run it. Maybe like, Zach, go ahead, call the plays, do whatever you want. The guys will follow you. You're Jesus. You're the Messiah, apparently. And that's pretty much it because there's really no one. I don't think anyone really cares. If it goes in, it goes in. If it doesn't, it doesn't. That's what it looks like to me. Like they just there to get a paycheck. I don't think that there's any hope there. They just go into work, clock in, clock out. I do that every day because I'm not happy. So they're probably not happy. I don't know.
Again, there's a lot of untapped potential with a lot of talent here. You got Patrick Williams only had 8 points and 5 rebounds.
Well, he doesn't deserve the money that he's getting either way, but still.
No, he doesn't. It's exactly my point. And if I go back to the Rockets game, if I pull up the Bulls versus the Rockets, he had 7 points, 1 rebound. Dude, you're huge. How do you only have one rebound? I do not understand. This guy's 23 years old. He's 6'7". 6'7". You're not far from the rim, dude. How are you only averaging 10 points for your career? You were supposed to be the next Kawhi Leonard with your big old hands. And all I see is nothing from this kid. Again, this is
Well, he got his money. I think that's pretty much it. You know,
well, good
hey,
for him.
you're going to pay me
Good
this
for
amount of
him.
money to get 8 and 10 points. Fine. Like,
But he's not even doing that now. He's not even 7 points last game, and then now what I say he had 10 points or 8 points, whatever he had this past game. I mean,
7.
It's for me, it's pathetic, waste of talent. Again, we'll probably end up trading him, and he'll go to a team and he'll blossom like Daniel Gafford does in Dallas. That he's alley-oop city and just dunking on people, like marketing is doing over there in Salt Lake City. Chandler did and won a championship in Dallas, but he bounced around a little bit in New York and other places. Again, we just can't develop any big men. I just don't understand what the problem is.
Last one was Joakim Noah, but that was because he wanted to be that. Well, I don't consider him that big guy, but
he wasn't a scorer. He was perfect for the offense that Tibbs was running, where he came up to the point, to the top of the key, and the offense ran through him because he was such a great passer. He had vision. He had Dennis Rodman's eyes for passing and the willingness to go and be doing the dirty work of getting the rebounds. We don't have those players. We don't have a Taj Gibson anymore. We don't have a Joakim Noah. We don't have those dogs. Vucevic, when he plays a big, he disappears.
He's scared.
I guarantee, because they're playing Milwaukee next on Wednesday, you will see him disappear. You will not see 29 points from Vucevic. You will not see 12 rebounds. You'll probably see 14 and 6. 14 and 6. I just don't get it. Zach will not have 25 points.
I could see Zach doing that, but that's pretty much it. He'll be the high scorer. I think everyone else is going to be like 15, 12, 7. You know,
there's no heart on this team, is what
there's not. No, everyone's just clocking in. We win, we lose. You get injured. We'll see you in 6 weeks to 6 months to 2 years to 2 seasons to whatever. I don't want to watch them. This is the first time I've never wanted to watch basketball because it's the same product as of last year and the following.
It's the same thing with every damn Chicago team. We're stuck in the middle. We're not doing anything. The Cubs didn't do anything. The White Sox are just horrible. The Bulls haven't done nothing. They keep running it back. Like, why do Chicago teams continue to just run it back and shove it down our throat and expect us to be excited about this? No one's excited about the Chicago Bulls. I'm sorry.
No, we're Midwest in the middle. That's apparently what we are. We're not Malcolm in the middle. We're Midwest in the middle.
You were sheepish to be believers, you said?
Yeah, we're sheep. We believe it. We fall for it every year.
Every year for the Bears, yes. Every Chicago person is always a believer, a sheep when it comes to the Bears starting a new season. Oh, yeah, we're going to go to the playoffs.
I'm the same thing with the Cubs. I'm blinded by it because I think the spring training, they're doing so well. I'm like, oh, we're going to be like a 20 team over 500, and we're not. We're like, 8 or 5 games over 500, and we didn't even make the playoffs.
I think the most realistic expectation for teams are the Blackhawks and the White Sox. Yeah, we're just going to suck.
Okay, don't put the White Sox in there. You're going to be relevant in like 8 years.
No, slow down here. The comment was that we know the expectations. We didn't expect to be a good team. Did I expect them to lose 121 games? No. 100 games? Yes. The Blackhawks? Yes, we expect them to lose. They're not going to be a playoff contention team. We know what they are. They're rebuilding. We know where they're at, right? So it's different when it comes to those two teams rather than, oh, the Bears, look at this shiny penny and the shiny nickel. Oh, but it's got a hole in it. And we're still happy about it. We buy the tickets and we buy the gear and we're like, oh my God, the Bears are the greatest team ever. And now we're let down. Same thing with the Cubs. Oh, look at that. They got a pitcher. Oh, that's it. They got a coach. Oh,
yeah. I
That's it.
just saw a bench report just said that Juan Soto is going to take a meeting with the Dodgers tomorrow. So
Yeah, and
take
they're
a
gonna
meeting.
they're gonna show up with a big shiny trophy and put it on the table. I'm like, this is what we do. We win championships. You've won
And
2 in the last 4 years.
30 years later.
Hey, they've won 2 in the last 4 years. What
It'd
Chicago
be like-
team won a championship in the last 4 years? None. Not one.
We win
Not one.
championships, but we'll pay you 30 years down the road.
And you're mad at that because it wasn't the Cubs.
Absolutely.
Okay,
I'm agreeing with you. JC's the one who's saying it. I agree.
All I'm saying is, as a player, I'd be like, nah, I want some of that money up front.
and they'll have the money up front. They got the most lucrative TV contract. That's why they have the money, because they have the most lucrative TV contract, and that stadium is, I would say, just about packed every single game.
Yeah.
So they've got money.
Like, oh, the Dodgers are going to get Soto. The Dodgers are going to get the.
I don't think it goes there.
Pitcher. The Dodgers are just going to get everybody. So what's the point of showing up? Just give the trophy to the Dodgers already.
Okay, you can't be a lovable loser. You can't do that, man. I'm depressing, and I talk so depressed all the time. I am that depression thing in Inside and Out 3. It hasn't come out yet, but I could be the voice. But I'm just saying the fact that it's like I can't do that to myself, man. I can't let the Cubs, like, just because if they don't do anything, it's upsetting. I'm still gonna love them. I'm still gonna believe in them. But in reality, it's like we're our own faults because we believe that they're gonna do the right thing, spend some money. If I had money, I would spend it. But I don't have any money because I'm not spending it. So, but I'm just saying you can't talk like that, man.
The Cubs' problem is also they're paying a few guys that are not performing up to what they're being paid. You got Suzuki and Happ, who, they're getting paid a little more than what their value is, in my opinion, because I believe Suzuki's making, was it 18 or 19, and Happ's right along there with him.
I'll say Suzuki has his moments. I wouldn't say like he's very consistent all the time, but I rather have consistency than moments.
But when you pay that kind of money,
right,
you would expect some consistency.
Yes, I agree with that.
Sale was hurt a lot of the season.
Yes, that is true.
And this is a White Sox fan who was watching Cubs games when he could, but still follow along. Seiya Suzuki, 19 million, was hurt a lot, especially in the beginning of the season. Ian Happ, I think he was worth the money this year. He won a Gold Glove, 21 million. Cody Bellinger, 27.5 for next year. I think he earned like 24, 25 this year. Not worth the money. Dansbury Swanson, not worth the money.
He's not. He didn't even get a Gold Glove this year.
No, but you're stuck with him. You're definitely stuck with him. Jameson Taillon, 18 million. Imanaga, every penny worth, 13 million.
Absolutely.
Nico Horner, 11.5. Justin Steele, almost 8 million. Assad, 800,000 next year, and then Patrick Wisdom should be gone at 2.7 million. Again, there's a lot of dumb moves, especially if you're going to go over the cap by a penny and get penalized. You might as well have gone over by 10, 15, 20 million and made that push. So you look at the Cubs not doing it correctly when it comes to a GM, just like the Bears not doing it correctly. Those are your two teams right there. The White Sox, we know they're rebuilding. They have a new guy up in front office, and we're trying to judge him on his moves. He still has a lot to prove. Do I have faith in him? No, because he has to prove it to me. The GM over there with the Blackhawks, he's busting his buns over there trying to get this team off the floor, especially after a scandal. So they're doing their job. The Bulls, it's the same old, same old. I'd rather have Gar Pax back in the general office because they can scout B and C players that are bench players that like they used to be, and you would have a full rotation of guys that can sub in and wouldn't be hurt all damn season. It's pathetic that we haven't won a championship since 2016. It is pathetic. This is the third largest,
or at least gone to the playoffs.
And I know
think 18 was.
Yeah, and everyone wants to shit on the White Sox, which is great. Yes, the 121 games. But in the last 20 years, did we win a championship? Yes, because it's going to be 20 years next year. When did the last time the Bears won a championship? 1985. It's about to be 40 years.
Mm-hmm.
So don't give my team
we're still
shit.
holding on to this history of the 85 Bears. And it's like, if you want to remember history and you want to keep track of it, double doink. the Washington game. You're not learning from your mistakes, but you're idolizing history, which is the part that's kind of confusing in a bit because you only want to remember the good stuff, but you don't want to remember the bad stuff.
Yeah, when the Chicago Sky are the most recent championship team.
Who?
The Chicago Sky.
Okay.
Yeah, I know you did that on purpose. Yeah, exactly. But the Chicago Sky are the most recent champions.
I hear you.
That's sad because they're pretty much an expansion team. You know, it's bad. So I'm really aggravated with Chicago teams because they completely do this to us, and we get worked up and we get excited and we support this team, all these teams, and it's just utter failure to do this every year now. And it's like at some point, like, do you just become numb?
Yes, you do. When life hits you hard constantly, Jose, some people get numb and bitter and they don't hold back their punches. Sometimes they want to watch the world burn. You know, it's possible. I'm not saying exactly from experience, but I'm just saying it's possible. Or they're right at the edge.
Why me and Steven listen to emo music.
Yeah.
To get in our feelings.
I can see
I
that.
legit get a little teary on my ride home from work because I hate my job and I'm stuck in traffic for almost an hour and a half. But hey, that's life.
That's like,
You know? So, but no, again, it's just I'm getting ready to look up pottery classes so I can, make them because I can't keep doing this. It's becoming a trigger to me now. Like I'm just I just don't know what to do. You know what? We're just not going to watch sports anymore. This has been our last show.
We had a great run, 221 episodes.
We're going to die in this one right here.
Either that or we're changing the name from Chicago sports fans
to sports.
To like our second teams.
Or winning team coverage. Like home runs, positive vibes, touchdowns, amazing basketball dunks. Like, well, hell, we'll even do soccer goals.
Chicago sellout sports fans.
Oh my God!
All right, we got a comment from Beto here. It says, "I'm a diehard Chicago Cubs, Bears, Bulls, and Blackhawks, and I get so tired of them not doing anything anything we as fans do day in and day out to go to the games, and this is how they repay us. 100%.
Yeah,
stop going to the game.
Our money. Yeah,
stop going to the games. Stop spending the money and buying the gear. Stop putting money in their pockets. It's as simple as that. When you stop going to the games, it hits them hard. You stop buying the gear, it hits them hard. Stop watching, it hits them hard.
That's why. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, I'm just saying that's also why, again, I brought it up. Chicago Sports Network is now going to do streaming. It's going to be, what is it, $19.99 for one team, and for three teams, it's going to be $20.99. So that's how desperate they are to get people to watch them, and it's hurting them.
Wait, what teams are on there?
Oh, I don't know. The Bulls, the Blackhawks, and the White Sox.
Terrible, and terrible. Maybe the Blackhawks might be a little exciting.
Yeah, a little glimmer.
Blackhawks may be exciting because they lose excitingly.
They score more goals than the Bears at some point. We see more action, I should say, on the field.
Yeah.
And then
you need more action. Definitely more action. A little bit more glimmer of hope, especially, with the Blackhawks. But no way should you be paying for this network. Do not put money in Jerry's pocket.
No.
Do not put money in this man's pocket. He's building a complex around the United Center, along with Rocky Wirtz, or the Wirtz family, all around. They're putting a hotel. They're putting
I want it to look like Wrigley.
Yeah, they want you to stay there, which is smart. But you should have put the baseball field there. You own the land. You own the land. You could have put a baseball field. You could have put all that around there and still done all that. Would there be a little bit less parking? Yeah, so what? Use the neighborhood just like Wrigley does. The green line's right there now. That's operational. The blue line's right there. You have 290. You
got Jose's Street where you could park at and walk.
That's right.
Yeah.
I'll charge you cheap, $25. Or for $50, I'll go pick you up. I mean, come on. Let's do this. And let's do this. But again, It's just those decisions that make you a greedy bastard because he's like, no, if I don't have 3 million people coming through the turnstiles, I don't got to pay rent. So why would I make a new stadium on my own land using my own money? It just doesn't make sense. I'd rather put a concert venue and, a hotel and all this
Basketball
other stuff.
courts and
Right, yeah. And
shopping
housing.
centers and
Housing, yeah. All this stuff that's going to bring in money for decades and decades to come. I get it.
But does it benefit us? No.
No, because he doesn't care about the fans. He doesn't care. It's
Let's be honest. As old as he is, even if he builds it, he's not going to reap the rewards very long.
No, his kids will, and I know I'm not gonna. You don't want to wish someone to die or whatever, but when the old man dies,
No, I'm not wishing him to die, but I'm just saying he is an older gentleman.
Yeah.
That like I said, I mean,
yeah. No, yeah, and I say that, but once the old man dies, the White Sox will be sold. Once the old man dies, the White Sox will be sold. And I want them to stay here, but I need you to sell it to one of the billionaires so they can put money into it. Beto has another question here. You think the Bears will ever join the other Chicago teams and get a network of their own? No. And the reason for that, because they're on Fox 32 for free. Why would you build a network if you're getting ratings you have incredible ratings? Now, if you're going to be selfish, can they do it? Yeah,
but the NFL controls all the TV networks.
Yep, the NFL won't allow.
It's not like where they have very select 16 weeks, one game a week. This is not like the Bulls where it's 80 games or 160. Something for baseball where
football doesn't have that. Yeah, they don't have regional sports networks, and as you've seen with baseball, all of that's dying. And it's reverting back to the MLB, and that's where you get charged when you get the MLB package. What's problem with the MLB package is that you can't watch the shit in your own backyard, and hopefully they fix that next year. Hopefully they do, and maybe I'll get it, because I love watching random baseball games. But that would never happen with the NFL or the Bears. They don't allow that just because they move games from time slot to time slot, and that would really take money out of other people's pocket. Like if they say, "Oh, well, it's going to be on the network at 3:00," and oh no, we've been flexed to the Monday night game or Sunday night game, and now that's on NBC. So that doesn't work that way. So yeah, that's not going to happen. But if it did, would you guys pay for that?
No,
absolutely not.
Absolutely not.
Nope.
I'm sorry. Like I'm to the point where, like I said, I got to pay for Hulu. I got to pay for Peacock. I got to pay for, all these subscriptions and Netflix and Amazon. And
now you're paying for more than you did when you had cable.
Yeah. Or like, what's the point of even having cable if I'm paying for 9 different streaming services? Like it's just to the point where it doesn't make sense. And financially, like, how do you afford it? Like, I'm trying to pay gas, water, and electric. I'm not trying to pay for 9 subscriptions to watch random stuff.
I'd rather
Fun fact, my electricity bill was from $60 now to $35 because I turn everything off when I leave. So, it adds up.
What do you leave on?
Electricity, like the electricity?
Yeah.
I don't have the heat running when I'm not here. The only thing that's really running is the fridge.
Okay.
And the internet. And that's pretty much it.
That's also bad for your furnace if you completely shut it off. You should turn the heat down, but don't turn it off.
Well, JC, the way the world works, I'm just kidding. No, I know. If it's like really cold outside, yes. If it's like, I don't know, like 30, 20 degrees, absolutely.
No, just lower the thermostat to like 58 or something.
I just don't want to break the thermostat and then let it get stuck because that thing's old as hell too. Like in this building. Hopefully my grandfather could hear that, but he can't.
Someone has PTSD from touching the thermostat.
don't know.
Yeah, I do
guess
have
don't that
PTSD.
problem 'cause I'm in the 21st century and I have an Ecobee that I can just
Yeah.
hey, I'm on my way home. I can turn that baby up and my house will be nice and cozy by the time I get there.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
yeah. Well, he's not gonna change that. It's not his house.
Mm-mm. And
All
I just put a new lock on the door with a touch screen with my thumb.
Ooh.
So that says technology like I'm gonna get here in this place.
All right, let's do a quick stirring the pot, and let me get my bell ready over here. Dun, dun, dun. Stevie B's got a stirring the pot to close out the show. All right, Stevie B.
All right, I'll make it fast. We all love pizza here in the city of Chicago. We have our favorite places. We have, always like our different tavern style of pizzas. But what do you prefer? It come in a box with, the Italian logo and stuff like that, or the paper bag. Now everyone has a similar favorite place. Which one do you like? JC, let's get started.
There you go.
Give me the box.
Give me the loot. Okay, you want to do box? All right, Big Z.
Why the box?
A lot of times, like with my family, we order more than one pizza, so for stacking purposes, because we'll get like an 18-inch sausage, then a 14-inch cheese. So like when you're trying to carry it, you're not doing one of these with two hands.
Hey, I got a piece.
Mario.
You're carrying one on top of the other into a house. So I tend to like the box, like I said, a lot of times the paper, it touches the top of the pizza and then it starts getting all oily and greasy. And,
that's how you know it's a good pizza.
Yeah.
I don't disagree, but like I said, for purposes of carrying, multiple pizzas, it's nicer.
For practical reasons, you're a Domino's, Sarpino's, Pizza Hut kind of guy.
No, my local pub, Dino's, which is on like Cumber or Harlem and Lawrence or Harlem and Higgins. Harlem and Higgins, I'm sorry. They do the box. So
yeah, my family's corner one that's not too far. They do a box too. But yeah, Big Z, what's yours?
I gotta go with the bag. I don't get that many pizzas. It's usually not many of us, me and Jackson
Well, Jackson eats a lot of pizza.
He does eat a lot of pizza because I'm a Ninja Turtle. Yeah, that definitely go with the bag. I think it stays a little fresher in there. It keeps everything in, and then it's just easy. You just pull off the staples and then slide that puppy out, and it's ready to go. And then when you're done, slide that puppy back in, fold it back in, and I get it. I know a box, you lift up the lid and whatever. It's fine. But for me, growing up, it's always been that white bag with the map of Italy on there. For me, it's got to be the bag.
Okay, I've had both. But I like the bag, and I'll say why. Because when I pick it up, it's burning hot. I burn the roof of my mouth through a box. But if I get the bag and it's cold outside, by the time I get into the house, it's perfect temperature, and I could just go toe to toe and eat it. I think that's why I'm not the type that always wants to reheat it once I get it from, out. I'm just going to eat it as is. Maybe I'll open the bag a little bit, take a couple pieces in the car. But that's the reason why I like the bag more. It's because by the time it's right off the counter, I get home and it's perfect temperature. So sue me. Come after me.
Well, I'm going to come after you because I want you to choose your pizza when you're getting your tavern style. What is the first? Are you a crust guy or are you an inner no crust guy? Like just from the middle.
I'm on the crust. I'm on the outside.
JC,
I am a corner specifically to like that is like I don't know why, but I always go for the corners first. Whether it be like a tiny little sliver. Whatever it is, whatever that corner is, like I'm taking that corner first. But yeah, like I definitely start with the outside. Like I'll grab one outside, one inside. Yeah, like I'm not specific. But like
I'll make a line straight through.
Yeah, like I'll go around the outside. I'll go through the middle. Like I'll grab two outsides, one inside, whatever. Like I'm not specific.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat, guys. Like I do want that little corner, a little triangle first, as my first bite. That's going in there as I choose my next slices. And then I'll grab one from the outside and I'll just keep going in and I'll take the first three all together. Give me that whole row. Put it on the plate. But yeah, I do like the outside, the crunchiness. And you got to have a good sauce the cheese ratio. If it's a dry pizza, I'm out. I cannot have a dry pizza.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Did JC freeze?
No,
Oh, okay.
I'm just listening to like the absurdity.
Yeah, you didn't even blink.
Like, I gotta have a moist pizza. It's like, that sounds weird, but all right.
You were thinking about pizza. That's what it was.
Yeah.
Well, I had pizza yesterday. I had, and like I said, to me, like, the Dino's, which is right here, they actually do a BLT pizza, which, is one of their specialties, and not bad, but
lettuce
like I said,
on it?
What is it?
They put lettuce on your pizza?
Yeah, lettuce and tomato. They do a BLT pizza. Yeah.
I mean, I'm not against it. I wouldn't pay for it if it was there. I'd eat it.
I'm not a fan of hot lettuce.
Well, no. They put the lettuce on after they cook the dough.
Still gets hot though.
Still gets hot.
Not as much as you think.
It's actually soggy lettuce at that point.
It is.
Yeah, that's okay. I mean, again, I'd eat it if it was there. I wouldn't pay for it and go to my way.
You guys would have to try it. It's
no, I would.
Not as bad as you think.
No, I'd try it.
Yeah, no, like I said, I mean, I prefer the box just for carrying purposes, and like now we could get into ingredients because we're like that's gonna be like, who here puts pineapple on pizza?
I have a kid before. I'm not against it.
Pineapple and ham, baby.
During the pot topic is like, who puts pineapple on the pizza?
Pineapple and ham, baby.
I wouldn't put the ham. I'd put pineapple, jardinera, and then sausage. You get the little bit of combination there.
Well, that's savory and sweet.
Yeah,
I do pineapple and pepperoni.
No, there you go.
You get the spicy with the pepperoni, and then you get the sweet with the pineapple. Yeah.
Hey, doesn't matter how you order your pizza, as long as you eat pizza, you are one of our people. What do you do?
I will say this: it does need to be fresh pineapple.
Yes.
If you come at me with some canned pineapple BS, take that shit back. I don't want it. It better be fresh pineapple. Because I do ask.
He takes his first bite.
This is Dole's.
This is the wrong thing. You switched it up on me. Yeah, no.
No, like I've asked, like, hey, I want to order pineapple. Like, do you guys use fresh or canned? And they'll say, oh, we use canned. And I'm like, all right, forget that. Like, I'm not ordering it then. Like,
but it'll be the same consistency if it's out of a can and it's sweet. Yeah, what difference does it make? You can't get pineapple fresh all year round because it's not going to be sweet.
You're going to look at a $7 upcharge for fresh pineapple.
You're talking to a guy that works at Costco where the price of a pineapple is $2.99 year round.
Oh, well, I'm sorry. I don't have a Costco card.
Damn.
Grow up, Peter Pan.
Well, it's just me. I barely eat here.
Yeah, and guess what? With the amount of taquitos that we could sell you, you'd be a happy man.
That's true. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So what is the next topic of what are we watching?
What you watching,
bro? Go ahead, JC.
What are you watching, JC?
I finished up Cobra Kai.
So did I. All 4 episodes.
And the brother's best friend who was over watching with, and it was one of those. He's like, well, that was a shit ending. And it's like, well, you got to remember they're going into a movie, so the movie is gonna probably tie it all together, and but other than Cobra Kai, I also watched new Amazon Prime show Alex Cross, which is kind of a detective thriller show. Kind of, I don't want to give away too much, but his wife was murdered, and then somebody's like bringing up the murdered wife's past, and he's also dealing with a serial killer and trying to solve that. And he's a like a profiler, like a psychologist kind of thing. So very, very interesting. I've only watched 2 episodes, but very interesting. It's already got my attention.
Awesome. Stevie B, what are you watching?
All right. So because I got a new phone, I get to watch Apple TV, right?
Yep.
And well, I'm a big Chris Evans fan, but the movie Ghosted is with Chris Evans, and the girl is Ana de Armas.
Yep.
She is stunning. I watch anything she's in, and Sydney Sweeney, of course. Those two loves of my life. But no, she's actually an assassin. And then Chris Evans is actually playing the guy who's like, didn't know who she was. Kind of like a romantic action rom-com kind of thing.
Okay.
Thought it was really good. But rewatching The Simpsons, which has been great in some sense. Some of it's been really funny, and Sean will hear me laughing.
All the way to season 1.
I started at season 2.
Okay.
So I'm at season 10.
Oh wow.
I flew by on Sunday and I think Friday. So, but pretty much that and Bob's Burgers, the Thanksgiving specials I've been watching in chronological order.
Great.
Getting
show.
ready for Thanksgiving. Those always hold up. So a lot of animation, some rom-com stuff, and I finished The Penguin. There you go. Finally.
Phenomenal.
It was really great.
Phenomenal. Especially because it takes its place right after the movie, and it's going to lead you right into part 2 of the Batman. Lots of Easter eggs in there. I don't know if you saw that, and I don't want to spoil it because it's still fresh, and it's one of the highest rated shows ever on HBO, up there with House of Dragons and Game of Thrones and stuff like that. Each one of those was, I think, no lower than an 8.7 rated on IMDb. So definitely a watch. Even if you never watched the Batman movie, you can watch the Penguin and still understand what's going on.
Yeah.
And then go back and watch the Batman.
I had a buddy that I was talking to over the weekend. He can't finish the Batman. He did it in the theaters, but afterwards he can't watch the full thing. But he watched the Penguin and he loved that more. And I think it's broken up.
Yeah, because it's broken up. Yeah.
And I think that's why I could watch the Batman every single day and not get tired of hearing the car scene, the car just roar.
Yeah.
But,
I can put that. I can pretty much put that one, The Dark Knight, even Batman Begins. I can watch that, and then the original Batman. I can watch all those movies without being bored.
Right.
I can put those on almost daily and not be bored.
What have you been watching?
I just finished last week. I finished a Netflix series called The Wrestlers, or just called Wrestlers. It's a pretty much a kind of reality, not want to say reality show, but it's kind of more of a documentary showing the new generation of talent in Ohio Valley Wrestling. If you don't know about wrestling, well, Ohio Valley Wrestling used to be one of WWE's affiliates. John Cena came through there, Batista, Brock Lesnar, Shelton Benjamin, Randy Orton. They've all came through there through that independent. And now one of a former wrestler, Al Snow. Nobody knows Al Snow.
I know.
Now
He had the dummy head.
Yeah, the mannequin head.
Yeah, the mannequin. Hey, like, are you ready for some head? Yeah, he's running it now, and it's funny because they were losing money, and one of the ESPN personalities for Louisville, Kentucky, started putting money into it, and it just gets a little bit more complicated. But it was a really good series, especially towards the end where you see some actually Hall of Famers interact with him. I did watch, obviously, The Penguin, the new Yellowstone. 2 episodes are out. Phenomenal show.
you can say it.
Can I say it? I could say it, right? Because that's been all over the news, right? Kevin Costner is no longer a part of the show, so they killed him off in the first 3 minutes of the show. So it kind of sets up the story for the rest of the season because they frame it as a suicide, but everybody knows that it wasn't a suicide. So that's the premise for this season. So Cobra Kai, Penguin, and Yellowstone, and then that series. So I'm ready to watch. What else is coming? Oh, Deadpool's out on Disney Plus.
Oh yeah, it's
Silo-
been yeah. I saw that too. We watched that.
Yeah, so I'm gonna watch that tonight after football. And do they have extra scenes on there, or what's
No, I don't think so.
so where do I get
didn't
to
see
watch
any.
these extra scenes then?
When they put it on as a separate show.
I think that they might be out on the internet because I've been seen some recap videos and they had some of them out there, like just as still shots, but not the
Yeah.
actual videos. But yeah, definitely gonna rewatch Deadpool Wolverine. So I think that wraps it up.
Also, new episodes of Silo. I don't know if you guys have watched that at all. Good show as well. The actress, I forget her name, but she has been in the Mission Impossible stuff. She has been in Dune. So like I said, she's been in many different things. I forget her name, but great show. Kind of like what was the other one that just came out where they were also living underground?
The video game movie
Yes, yeah.
on Amazon.
Not Battleground.
No, the one with the end of the world with the atomic bomb.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
kind of
drawing
same concept,
Yeah.
but less kind of like 50s cartoon and more dark, mysterious. Like I said, kind of same concept of, there was some cataclysm that happened, and people are trying to figure out why they're living underground, and they have the haves and the have-nots, and trying to deal with that society in what they call a silo, trying to keep everything maintained and running, machinery wise, and keeping life support stuff going. So kind of interesting show.
Yeah, pretty cool. We'll add that to the list. All right, boys. I think that's our time for this week. And thanks for jumping on, boys. It's always a good time. Thank you to our listeners for sticking and supporting with us through 221 episodes. Thank you to our sponsor, 606 Media, True Chicago Sports Fans, and Great Clothing Company. You know what to do when you get to greatclothingco.com. You could check us out on social media. Our handles are right there. Big Z _606 Media Group. We got Straight Function. Is that what it is?
Yeah,
The
it's on there. You could hit No Water on the Weekend. Weekend spelled WKND.
Yep.
But on TikTok, Weekend, it's just said how it's spelled. So
Yeah. Mine's across, same thing across everything. And you can find JC on the X at JC Dynasty Fantasy Football. So FF at the end. Again, if you have a topic for Stirring Apart, what you're watching, or you want to argue about something we said about sports, about the Chicago teams, hit us up at truechicagosportsfans@gmail.com. All right, for Stevie B and JC, I am Big Z. We'll see you next time for episode 222. And until then, be good to each other for the love of sports.